All right, guys, you asked for it. We delivered. Attack on Titan, why it's a masterpiece.
Maybe we can get swayed.
We've been convinced that it's not good.
But, like, it's not like we want it to be bad.
Yeah, it's not like we're out to get,
yeah.
like, it's not like we're out here, I hate the animators. No, it's more just like, we want to see why it's good. We think it's bad. Hopefully this guy can convince us.
Yeah, let's see.
Attack on Titan's ending is a generational masterpiece.
Wow, that
Watching
is
the final
controversial.
episode of Attack on Titan, which left me feeling a little hollow, I knew I needed to talk about this episode as I think it's pretty much a perfect ending, especially
What?
for a series like this. From the brilliant action sequences,
I'm
to
actually
the
a hater,
cabin
bro.
scenes,
Yeah,
and
the
of course
action
the
was good, though.
finale and end credits that just ripped your heart out and made you question the cycle of life and what we are as people itself.
No, it
Attack
didn't.
on Titan's ending is awesome. So let's talk about the final episode.
Bro, I'm actually a D1 hater, dude. I'm actually a hater.
Demon Slayer, One Piece, or Chainsaw Man, then this is the place for you. Subscribe and ring the bell, or I'll karate chop you in the funny bone. Watch out!
What the-
We first have to talk about the scene in which Armin and Zeke meet for the first time in the paths. This scene to me is one of the best and most well written in the episode, mainly because Zeke and Armin discuss their different outlooks on life and humanity. Zeke feels that humans are controlled by fear, and the meaning of life is to simply
I found
reproduce,
this, like, not
nothing
bad.
more.
When
Yeah,
they
that wasn't
explained it.
bad, but I
liked
shouldn't
it.
be like, okay, Attack on Titan is a generational ending. I shouldn't be out here going then, like, if you say Attack on Titan is a generational ending, I shouldn't simultaneously be saying, why is it bad?
How?
No, I'm not asking how. I'm not asking why it's good. I'm asking, then why don't I think it's good?
Oh.
Like, at all. Like, I can see the good parts as great action and everything, but why am I like...
Writing.
Yeah,
This is totally in Zeke's character, as if you'll remember throughout the series.
but this was cool.
Zeke always
Yeah.
supported the idea of euthanasia. That the only way to stop the cycle of hatred that Eldia and Marley have gotten themselves into is to eliminate the initial guilty party who carries these special abilities so that Marley and the world would have no reason to fight over the Titans or kill anyone for that sake. This is because Zeke has always believed that humanity reproduced to simply multiply out of fear of extinction.
True.
At the core, this is the very idea of really why anyone fights in AOT, to some degree, to Zeke at least. Grisha fought for the future of his wives and sons. Mikasa fought to protect Eren. Ymir, Fritz fought because she loved King Fritz. It all started, to Zeke, with this idea of reproduction and fear. Nothing
Which I
else
kind of
in
agreed
life
with.
means anything to
Yeah,
him or
you-
anyone else
you really
because
like
of
Zeke's
this.
fun.
So when
And then I
Armin
grew to
recalls
like him
that
more and more
time
when
he,
the more
Eren, and
the show
Mikasa would
kept
race to
getting,
the tree on the
fucked
hill
up.
with him always lagging behind as Mikasa let Eren win the race, Armin realized that at the end of the day, what made him the most happy wasn't that he won the race or anything. It was the fact that he was able to be there for the ride and experience the nice breeze on his skin. See the leaves carried by wind gently flying through the air, and of course seeing the two people he loved the most being there for him and he for them. Zeke was missing something important in all of this, something he could never know because Grisha and Dinah starved it from him. It was never about reproducing to become a Titan shifter and save Eldia or to enact a euthanasia plan with Yelena. Zeke's mission to save the world from themselves wasn't really what he wanted or held so dear in life. What he held dear is the childhood he desperately wanted. To play
Yeah, but like, this has nothing to do with anybody has any week. You just spent the first 3 minutes of the video talking about something I don't think anybody has any complaints with. This
Well,
is like
he's
me
beginning-
saying...
he's going through the whole ending.
Sure. But this is like me going like, what? But this is an 18-minute video, and he's addressing something that nobody has any qualms with. This is like me going like, this is why McDonald's is bad for you. And then you start talking about, well, first of all, it tastes amazing. It's like, we know that. We know it tastes good. We're talking about why it's bad. You know, so he's talking about like, well, Armin and Zeke was cool. Yeah, but nobody doesn't agree.
He'll get into the more.
catch
Sure,
his
but
father
4
to
minutes?
be doted on by
It's a
his
fifth
mother.
of an 18-minute
Zeke
video.
never got to experience the small joys of life that Armin is describing, except for one, playing catch with Savor. From Armin's perspective, that leaf is just a leaf, but due to the power of the paths and the dual perceptions it brings with it in its mysterious ways, Zeke is finally able to complete the puzzle. Zeke's leaf is his baseball. All he ever wanted to do was play
Yeah.
catch. He could
Yeah.
do it
But
all
we all
day.
know this.
You didn't need any of this stuff before him, despite him still ultimately believing in this plan. What he needed was a normal life where he could enjoy ball, hang out with his parents, and just be a kid. Zeke is the epitome of, well, mommy and daddy issues in the series, and I think much like anyone else, Zeke is a tragic character that once again fell victim to the Titan curse that Ymir has brought onto the world. However, the scene that I think captured everyone's hearts and souls was the cabin scene. A long time coming, this moment is probably one of the all-time best sequences I've ever seen in anime, period.
Where do you even begin? One of the all-time best anime sequences he's ever seen in any anime. I've watched no anime. I've watched One Punch Man, Attack on Titan, half of Jujutsu Kaisen, an episode of Vinland Saga, and an episode of Death Note.
And like 2 of Hunter x
The
Hunter.
beginning of Vinland Saga is better than that scene.
What?
Why are you saying what? Like
Yeah.
that? Why are you like trying to play devil's advocate? You agree with me. What are you doing?
What, guys? Is this guy smoking on something?
You just say it, like, just be honest.
Yeah.
Of course. It's way better. Vinland Saga's opening is way better than this scene. And then people will be like in the comments now, I can see your comments. I know you're writing them. But then that just means that you weren't connected to the characters. Yeah, you're right. Because Eren lost his damn mind for the last season 4, which made me really not like him, which made me not care about his outcome. Mikasa I never liked.
Yeah.
Because she had no personality.
She wasn't dynamic, yeah.
No. So exactly, and it's like the characters I cared about were cut screen time. Jean and Levi, and I cared about Eren, but his personality changed, so I never liked him anymore. And then Zeke. So all the characters that I actually wanted to see thrive and do well, and Rainer, were literally cut in half. Their screen time was gone, and all the characters I didn't give a shit about, like Hanj and Connie, and they were given them, and Armin, they were given the most screen time. I'm like, these nobodies with terrible personalities are having all the time. And then when they do this random cabin scene to basically, it's a memory that he gave back to Mikasa when she killed him. It's like, who cares?
But it was also like watching it the first time, you were kind of like, what's even happening?
But
you don't
now
even
that I
what's
know what
happening.
happened, even my reaction, my first reaction was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Now my reaction is, who cares? It's not like I don't get it. I get it.
Yeah,
I'm
now
just-
we get it, yeah.
I get it. Now I just don't care. I'm like in a position now where I'm like, who gives a shit? Who cares if I always loved Mikasa and, I want you to move on and forget about me? Who cares? Who cares? She was never a personality I liked, and he completely changed.
Yeah.
And it's not like he...
And we didn't get to see the change either.
Yeah,
It just sort of happened.
it's not like he justified it either. It's not like he's just, maybe I'm just stupid. I'm like, what? And people are going to be in the comments like, but that could be true. Maybe he was just, he could see the future and the past all at the same time, and it confused him, and he didn't know what to do, and he made impulsive decisions. It's like, yeah, but just because he did that doesn't mean I have to like him for it. Just because he went out and did stupid decisions for virtually no reason, just because he's dumb and has low IQ, doesn't mean then I have to be like, oh, now I sympathize with him, I get it. It's like, no, he's a retard, and I don't care if he comes out with Mikasa and is like, oh my god, Mikasa, I always loved you, and I want you to move on and get somebody. And then 2 scenes later, be like, no, I don't want her to move on. And he's like crying in front of Armin. So in this scene, he's like, I want you to move on and have a life with somebody else. And then 10 minutes later, he's like, but I love her, and I never want her to leave me. With Armin crying on the ground. 10 minutes between those two. And so for me, it's not coherent at all.
Right.
His cabin scene was trash. No way of justifying it. That's
Well,
fine.
for me, it's just forgettable. I probably wouldn't remember.
But do you see the way I'm
remember.
like? But you have the way you're describing it is how I'm describing it.
Right, yeah,
Just
yeah.
in simpler words.
Yeah.
You're saying it's unforgettable. What am I saying? I'm
No,
saying I don't
it's
care.
forget-
You're saying it's forgettable. I'm
And
saying
you're
I don't
you
care.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I'm just saying why we don't care. Or why it's forgettable. It's because who cares about Mikasa?
Yeah.
I care more about Yuji from JJK.
Yeah, but he's the main character.
I don't care about these characters. They're not developed.
Right, yeah.
They don't have personality. People, they were kids. They were this. Again, I've said this 100 times. Just because something makes sense within a show in terms of plot doesn't mean I have to like it. And now with that yap sesh done, let's get back to
Yeah,
the video.
let's get back to the video.
Let's get right into the news.
There is so much depth to the mirroring of past events, constant references, and small details that make this scene so memorable and full of almost endless depth.
Bro
This
just
is-
said it's forgettable, and he said it's the most memorable scene ever.
Well, I'm
What
sure,
you
like
were
when
talking
I
about
say
with
that
the
though, I
two
mean like after we've watched like Vinland Saga, Death Note, JJK, and maybe Hunter x Hunter, I don't think I'll ever remember the scene from Attack on Titan when I look back to Attack on Titan.
Bro,
See what I'm saying?
I remember that Vinland Saga scene way
Yeah.
more than this.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Do you know what I remember from Attack on Titan?
The Beast Titan.
I remember the Beast Titan eating the first guy when he first came.
Yeah.
I remember when...
Levi versus the Beast Titan.
Yeah. I remember when
Armor
Historia...
Titan.
Yeah, but I remember when Historia's friend, what's her name?
Ymir.
Ymir, when she got turned into Claw,
Yeah.
and she was fighting all them, and they were in that tower.
When Rainer's head got blown
yeah,
off.
when his head got blown off.
And
I
they
remember-
transformed on the
Remember
wall.
Eren versus Rainer with the Jujutsu?
Yeah.
I remember Rainer in the first battle of season 4.
But people will hear that and just say it's because we like more of the action, right?
Yeah, of course, because the characters are dog shit. Or at least the characters that are dog shit are the ones that were given the most screen time. And people are like, but then you just don't like the real characters, the realistic characters. Like, it's not realistic. How is it realistic to be there?
I feel like
and be
once
I'm
you
gonna
once you introduce the past and Ymir and all that, you can't really bring a realistic.
How's it
argument
realistic to
it.
say that you're going to kill 80% of the population because, I don't know. How's it realistic? What are you, Adolf Hitler? Well, is this realistic? This isn't realistic at all. There's like one guy ever, like maybe like a couple guys ever who have ever existed who have said, I'm going to kill everybody. And they're it. And you're saying Aaron's one of them? It's just some little boy?
But he's 16.
He's 19 or 20.
Oh, yeah, he did. There was a time skip or whatever.
Fucking hate Aaron. No.
Said to each other, what we can observe from it is just vast. For example, the fact that it's a cabin is a reference to Mikasa's happiest place in her life, the cabin she was raised by her parents in. So since this is a dreamlike timeline with it being her decision to run away with Eren, she chose what she knew, and that thing that she wanted to return to all this time was her little cabin in the woods away from the hustle and bustle, the walls of Paradis. On top of that, the idyllic scene has more nods and references to so many past Mikasa and Eren moments. For one, Mikasa in this scene chose to have her classic hair back. Now, the reason it was cut in the first place isn't stated in the series, but basically, she grew her hair out long between the events of season 3 and 4, so she would keep it knotted up or in a ponytail. One day, it was accidentally cut, and this is why her hair is now short in the final season. That being said, she prefers this original look because this is what Eren told her to do. He told her to cut it short, and so in this moment, she never had the chance to get her hair accidentally cut. It's the same for Eren too, as Isayama, the creator of Attack on Titan, stated the reason Eren grew his hair out long was because he stopped caring about living, as from birth his entire goal was to activate the rumbling and kill everyone. So there wasn't a reason to care about his appearance anymore. The only thing that mattered above all else was completing his goal and moving forward. However, at the cabin scene, his hair is short. Well, this is because this is the look Mikasa knows Eren for, not the depressed, long-haired, omnicidal man, but the brash young man with short hair. His mother's looks and those big round eyes that just pierce right through you. It also means that Eren, above all else, cares for Mikasa so much that he would go to these lengths to make sure she experiences this serene and tranquil moment just the way she wanted it. As well, the scene directly mirrors episode 1 as Mikasa and Eren in their respective episodes are gathering wood.
I'm gonna say this. How does this make this the best scene ever? How does, like, but the little details, how does that make it the best scene ever? Like, if that's what you're looking for, I guess, like if you're looking for, like, mini Easter eggs, and that's what you watch shit for, I get it. But, like, what if I just want to see an insanely cool story with cool action, or not even action, but just a great story? How is this, like, I'm so conflicted on how you can even... But, like, he loves her, and so he imagines Eren with short hair because that's when he was a confident guy. And what does this have to do with anything? What does this have to do with anything that we were trying to do?
Yeah.
Am I insane?
I just find it. I think it's also just the fact that they didn't really build up any sort of romance for the scene for you to really care about it, right?
It's not even like they kissed before and it was awkward and they were like, let's not do that again, or
or
like they whatever. It's not like there was any hint of it.
That's what I mean. Like there wasn't any build up.
It felt fan servicey, didn't it?
To this, yeah.
It felt like some fanfic pervert walked into the studio and said, we're making it now. The writer was like, we can't do that. And he was like, you're gonna fucking put it in. And I was like, but the ending is gonna be really good. And he's like, you're gonna fucking put it in. And it ruined everything. Because actually, if you remove those two scenes, it becomes better. If you remove the scenes where the love comes in, the story actually gets better. I think if you remove the love aspect of it, it gets better immediately. You remove the scene with Armin talking about Mikasa, keep the scene, but remove that part of it. And if you remove this cabin scene, it actually just gets better. Or if you change...
Yeah, but then it doesn't make sense because the whole point of the rumbling was because Ymir wanted to be in love or was in love with someone.
But then change that.
Yeah, but then that's a different story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Change the story. Change it. Because this was bad. This was really bad. Like, it made no... Even if you say it made sense, the best case scenario is it made sense, but the story wasn't compelling. That's the best case scenario, is that it all made sense because we can justify it through all these weird jumping means. But even then, even if you can make sense of it and convince me and win in a court of law, doesn't mean that I have to then concede to the point that I say, now that it makes sense, this is the best thing ever because you've made it all make sense. I can just say, well, I think that's dog shit.
Oh shit.
But shout out this guy. Like, he clearly loves it, which is kind of like,
Yeah, that's good.
I see someone eating mushrooms and olives, and I'm like, you really like that stuff? And they're like, man, it's just the texture, and they're chewy, and I'm like, they gush out. I'm like, oh, that's good for you, man. They're like, but you're eating pepperoni pizza. I'm like, 'cause it's pretty good. And it's like, we just have different tastes, right? I assume that's what it is. I just can't. Maybe I'm retarded, but I can't see it.
while the others sleep, waking up by a nightmare which makes them both cry. As for the actual scene itself, beyond just the visual references, it's here that it's put into perspective that Mikasa from the very beginning really always made the right choice. Throughout all of her doubting and worrying in pretty much every season and episode for Eren, always wondering if she was doing her best just for him, throughout every single moment, this scene gives vindication for all of Mikasa's actions in the series. She never made a bad decision or compromised herself for Eren. She always remained independent of him, despite always being there to protect him. We know this because in the
Wasn't
cabin
she
scene,
always
this is what
dependent
Mikasa's
on
life
Eren?
would have
This
looked
guy's
like
cooking.
if she ever confessed her true feelings for Eren at any point. They would have ran away together and lived out the rest of Eren's life happy, all the while their friends and family around them would be slaughtered. Marley would wipe out Paradis, gaining total control over the world. Mikasa was right, because she knew the right answer and what it always was: to remain strong, because her strength was what carried her through the best and the worst. She's not a slave to love, she's not a slave to Eren, she sure as hell is not a slave to anyone. We also have to talk about Armin and Eren's chat in the past,
What?
because this is the scene that changed.
I don't know if I agree with that, to be honest.
What do you mean you don't know if you... I
That's
don't
what I'm saying. I don't agree with that.
I 100% dispute everything you said.
The whole show was her being dependent on Eren. When he wasn't there, she would, like,
How can
freak
they
out.
try to gaslight us like this? We watched the show ourselves. The whole show. And then this guy comes along and says, no, you had it completely wrong. She was independent the whole time. Even though she was like a jail guy, the little white guy and the black guy in jail hold my pocket. Walking around like this. Hold my pocket. Walking around in jail like this, holding pockets. That's what she was to Eren the whole show.
Yeah.
Mikasa, go kill that guy. Oh, okay. But that's her. Beat up Armin.
Yeah.
She was independent the whole time. That's why she beat the shit out of Armin.
And even after he died, she was still.
That's why
visiting
she
her
said that she
grave
would
the
literally
whole time.
kill all the Survey Corps when Eren first turned into a Titan in
Yeah.
episode fucking 5. Come at me then. That's what she said. Come at me.
Yeah.
She was independent the entire time. This guy's a crazy guy right here. This guy's crazy.
The most from manga to anime. In fact, it's pretty much written.
Bring on the hate
totally
comments. I'll
differently
delete them
than
all.
in the manga, and has so
flocking
much
in.
more depth to it, which is because the entire episode was rewritten by Isayama himself. In fact, in this scene, Eren basically explains to Armin what he knows about Ymir Fritz. Essentially, she fell in love with King Fritz due to Stockholm syndrome that has kept her captive. She can never stop
He's a
loving the man who
rapist.
killed her family, pillaged her home, sentenced her to death, and ultimately the man who would bring her joy by giving her children. The thing she was looking for since she died was a separation from her love from King Fritz. That person, as we've established, needed to be strong and not a slave to love or anyone, and the person to do the separation was Mikasa.
How does that
So
even
throughout
make
the
any
entirety
sense?
of the series, as Mikasa has sudden headaches,
The show
But
is really
I
realistic.
thought that the whole point was that Mikasa was a slave, and then when she killed Eren, that was her breaking out
So
of being
what
a
they're
slave.
saying is that she was never a slave and that she was always independent. And what they're also simultaneously saying is that she was the one to break Ymir because she was in love with. She was like almost like proof that she can do it. But it's like 1 second here. Show is super realistic and we can make it all make sense. The only supernatural part is the Titan. Let's get into this. Ymir. Why did she need it? For what reason?
Why need what?
So she was in love
Yeah.
with a rapist for 2,000 years. And she sees some random girl kill a guy she's in love with. And that convinces her to not love her rapist anymore. After 2,000 years of loving him. 2,000 years, not 2,000 minutes, not 2,000 hours, 2,000 years, not 2,000 days, 2,000 months, years. Do you know how much time that is? That is so much fucking time. That makes no sense. Oh, he killed her so I can like forgive. So that makes no sense.
Yeah.
In my head. Maybe you can justify it in the comments. I can't make sense of that. The second thing is that even if you were to say that that makes sense, how can you in order for that to make sense, you have to then justify Mikasa even being independent of Eren. So even in order to get to that stage where you say that that's why she That's
Yeah.
why Ymir was released of that
Which I
curse.
don't think it's.
Which I don't even agree with.
I don't
But
agree
even
with,
to
yeah.
get to that point, you have to say that.
Right, you
Mikasa
have
is-
to. That has to be true.
Mikasa has to be independent, which I don't believe was true either. So there's two falsehoods, one of which can't be true without the other, and they're both wrong in my opinion. They're both completely
Yeah.
wrong. Mikasa wasn't independent of Eren. She was completely dependent on his love. You could argue she broke it at the end. In fact, I would probably argue that by killing him, she broke it. But to say the whole show she was independent, I would argue to say she was dependent the whole show. Final minute, she realized, maybe not realized, but then made the decision that she's going to kill him for the greater good. And that's what released Ymir. I could say, okay, I
Yeah.
get it. But even then,
Yeah, that
that's
was the
still
way
a sh-
I kind of saw it, was that she was a slave to Eren and like loved him so much, but then her killing Eren was the proof that
What really-
Ymir wanted to
But
see.
even then, that is
not-
retarded.
yeah.
That is a stupid ending. She was finally proven that she could do it. What? 2,000 years of loving your rapist and some girl kills some guy and you're like, oh, now I can do it. What? That's stupid in my opinion. So,
Well,
back-
I also find dumb is like you're comparing like Ymir's rapist to Eren.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, Eren.
I mean, Eren's a worse guy.
Eren's worse in terms of what he's done, but before like genociding, basically, he was not like he was not like that.
But
level of
also,
bad.
guys, this is gonna be controversial, but there is worse people in terms of Aaron's a worse guy on paper. But if I had to pick Aaron or King Fritz to babysit my kids, I would pick Aaron. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's a worse guy, but I would let him babysit my kids more than I would do King Fritz. You know what I
Thank
mean?
God I don't got.
Is that a good analogy? Are we cooking, guys? I
I
hope this video does well, and then like all you guys are like, "Oh, these guys must love the video," and then we're like, "This is dog shit."
That's what I'm gonna say. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I really wanted to be like explain this, and then I loved it, or not even loved it.
Bro,
but
there's still
liked it.
10 minutes.
Yeah, but the thing is we touched on the scenes that I feel like were the ones I had gripes with,
And he didn't fix them.
and it didn't fix it. It just
The
made me more
little
frustrated.
details of the cabin scene is what makes it one of the best scenes ever in anime.
And like I'm sure like the more we watch anime, the more you guys.
This
will
guy
see that.
definitely
I don't
loves
really-
like the love anime, you know, like he definitely watches like the ones about love.
maybe yeah.
Whereas we're like Toto's my
But
favorite
even then,
character.
like that's what I'm saying. Like even if it was about love, like I don't even think they built it like that.
Really? I know.
So
Which is why for me I'm like
I don't think it needed like.
Toto's my favorite character.
Yeah.
So clearly this is not for me in terms of that ending.
Yeah, but
You know-
but the thing is it never built itself up to be like that.
Even if you were to say it's a love story.
Like we spent 3 seasons, like 2.5 seasons about ending Titans, and then it was ending Marley, and then now it's love, and it's like what?
What
Out of nowhere. This was not due to some Ackerman gene as Eren lied to Mikasa about. This was actually due to Ymir Fritz the entire
Bro,
time.
holy yeah.
Sifting through her
But this is
mind
fun.
for reasons only Ymir Fritz.
We've
and
yapped
Mikasa
too.
know.
What was no us?
But the one
Yeah.
thing
That's what I'm
Ymir
saying.
found without
Holy
a
yap,
shadow of a
us.
doubt
Yeah.
is that after
Not
2,000
him.
years,
No.
He's
this
actually
is the
spitting
woman to
in terms of,
free
like,
her
he's
and
wrong.
He's
finally
explaining
let her
it.
But
pass
it's
on.
pretty consistent.
This
Yeah.
caused Ymir to change her mind from taking out her frustrations and pain by destroying the world that cursed her and that she cursed to
the fuck
finally
was that
move
scene?
on from Fritz and her pain
So fucking
finally
weird.
rest. Ymir Fritz was the instrument of Attack on Titan. This helped put into
This is
perspective
like-
for Armin and Eren what truly was going on.
Guys,
this
I'm
scene
just gonna
also
say it.
revealed that
This
from the very
entire
beginning, Eren wanted to
video is
activate the
coke.
rumbling no matter what. And it goes so deep
Guys,
that
I
even Eren
promise it's
remembers
good.
his
Just
first
listen to me.
seconds of life
And it's
as
like, but
Grisha
that
gives
little
him his
details,
name
this
and
is
tells him
coke.
that he is free.
It's not like he's showing an anime sequence of like the most insane thing you've ever seen. This is cope. Super cope.
Somewhat complicated, mostly because this
You
moment
can't
is
just
so
call the entire audience low
Eren
IQ
has
for not
the
liking
past
an
memories
ending
of
as
his
well.
father to
You just don't get it. So if I see any low IQ comments, you're literally getting ratioed. You're just too
We're
stu-
gonna get ratio this whole video.
You're just too stupid
So
to understand.
because of these
That's what, like,
time
you're just too
travel-like
retarded.
aspects, Eren remembers his own birth from his own perspective, and essentially everything he's done and will do in the future as faint feelings from his first seconds of existence.
Mm.
So this is why he felt he needed to go through with this. The attack and founding, acting in conjunction with one another, basically ruined his mind to the point where past and future held no meaning. It was, in a way, determined by the higher power of time itself. The moment the founding and then the attack titan came into existence was the moment Eren's fate was sealed, thousands of years before he even existed. So because of that, Eren feels guilty for what he did, and
I'm not even like, guys, we've yapped
even
enough.
if
I'm not
Armin
even
feels
trying to
there is
pause and
another
like figure
way,
out
and
everything
there
out
clearly
anymore.
is. He definitely could have lived here. However, Eren's guilty conscience, the fact that he both is the mass murderer and also a garden variety idiot, he can't allow himself to live because he is the one who took the lives of, well, 80% of the planet. Due to the Titan's abilities he obtained, It made him go through with the rumbling. But we know for a fact that without those abilities that Eren would just be a normal man living in a world with his, well, freakishly strong, hot, raven-haired, to-be-looking, trauma-having best girl Mikasa. In many ways, Eren is a manifestation of the past and the future and
What the
a
fuck
slave
was that
to it.
image?
Slave to freedom. But
was like
because he
Gojo's
knows
girlfriend or
from all
something,
the
bruv.
people living inside of his head that
was
every single
Gojo.
one of them weren't free. And the ones in the future...
This is cope, guys. This is cope. Man, this is gonna be rough.
probably wouldn't be free either.
I love this
They were
ending.
burdened by the Titans.
Nick, bro,
by Ymir,
you're actually so
Elementals,
fake,
or
bro.
whoever.
You're
None
actually,
were ever
bro. Don't
truly
worry, I'll
free,
1v1
and
the whole
with 2000
comments
years of
by
history
myself.
And with an endless vision into the future,
Listen, I'm not
he
clocking
knew
in
he
and
had
I'm
no
like
other
Nanami,
choice
man.
than to
Overtime,
sacrifice
okay?
his own
Listen.
existence
Bro's
to the
actually
very
trying to,
concept
like,
of putting an
Stop
end
Logan
to
Pauling it. Stop Logan
everything.
Pauling it.
Eren
Are you
was
Logan
right
Paul?
the entire time.
Stop
What does that even
This
mean?
was the only way. There
It's like,
was
Logan Paul's the type of guy to go on Twitter and be like, "No, guys, I didn't mean to say it like that."
Oh,
That's Logan Paul.
yeah.
Stop Logan Pauling it.
I guess I am, yeah.
Just say it how it is.
I love this ending.
Tell them what you think of it, guys. No,
I
this is your
love-
time. Tell them what you think of Attack on Titan.
I love it. I love
Look at
Attack
the
on Titan.
camera.
I actually like Attack on Titan. I
No,
love
no,
Attack on
the
Titan.
ending. Look at the camera
Oh.
and tell them what you think of Attack
The
on Titan.
animation
No,
amazing.
look at the camera.
The animation was amazing. The fights were amazing. The battle on the Founder was crazy. I do wish, I don't know if he's going to talk about it, but I do wish we knew more about that life thing that gave the powers to the Titans, of the Titans. Like the thing that attached to her spine.
I don't care.
I do, because
Really?
that was literally what they were fighting at the end.
But like at that point, I didn't care. None of it made sense.
That's what
to
I
me.
mean. That's why I wish I kind of knew what that was. So that way, when Rainer's holding it down, I'm going, oh, he's holding like literal Titan life right now. But instead, it kind of just
But at
happened.
that
I'm like,
point,
what the fuck is
by
that
the
worm
point
thing?
they even got to there, I had already been like 30 minutes of like, what the fuck is going on?
That's what. No, I'm not saying they needed to build it up in the movie. I'm saying throughout the show, maybe.
Sure, but then
Yeah.
it would have, again, as you said, been a different story.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
So they should have look at the camera and tell them,
I love this ending.
bro, it's fake.
No, I'm kidding. I do find this ending unsatisfactory.
I'll say it.
However, that's not to say that I hate the whole show. Let me finish my diplomacy.
The show was good. The ending was extremely bad. The last half of season 4 was extremely bad. Prior to that, I probably would have rated it a 9. I mean, you can go back and watch my reactions, guys. I love the show, but the last 15 episodes in the movies,
And it's not because of the break.
it's
I
not.
swear
it's
really
not. It's
'cause
really
of the
not,
break.
guys. You guys said
It's
we took a
really
break
not.
and that ruined it, guys. The next 10 episodes was exposition with the worst characters. I don't like Hanj. I don't like Armin. Connie was irrelevant.
And we also like apply that logic to the other shows we watched, like JJK. The whole first season, we love that. And it was longer than.
Well, I didn't love the whole thing.
The break didn't ruin that. The whole it didn't ruin
Yeah,
the,
the
show
break
for
didn't
that.
ruin JJK. There
Yeah.
you go. Break didn't ruin JJK. And I'll say this: JJK, I gave it an 8.5. There was low moments, but the low moments didn't feel unwatchable.
Yeah.
Sometimes Attack on Titan was like, "What are we doing here? What are we trying
Yeah.
to do here?" Like
With
they
the-
discussing
around the ship and all that
yeah,
stuff.
discussing a plan for a whole episode, just discussing a plan and discussing like Yelena and discussing Onkapong, whatever his name is.
Capone, yeah.
Yeah, and they're just talking about, I don't care about any of this shit. And people, you have low IQ. And it's like, you can't just say people not being entertained are just low IQ. It's just, it makes you sound stupid.
Yeah.
It makes you sound stupid because it's not my job to find the entertainment. Like, I'm not trying to like the guy's doing, but the little details and the Easter eggs. You're supposed to show me the entertainment. It's a fucking show. I'm supposed to be
But
shown.
those Easter eggs should be there, but like for someone who rewatches, like you're supposed to pick up on that after the fact, not like that's what makes it good when you're watching.
Yeah, that's
it.
not what should make it good.
Yeah.
That should be like a little extra.
That's what I mean.
You know, imagine if you said Horizon Draft, Zombies map. The Easter egg is fire. But what if the map was shit? What if the layout was bad? What if the
Yeah.
bows were bad? But the Easter egg's amazing. It's like, yeah, but the map is unwatchable. So
Yeah.
I'm saying the scene is so trash that the Easter eggs aren't important.
Yeah.
And when I say trash, guys, I don't mean bad. I mean trash. I mean really bad. Like it's like it's
I don't
not.
mean bad. I mean
I
absolutely.
mean it's not. I mean it's not okay. It's not like, oh, it was okay and I'm like hating on it, like in terms of like I'm not comparing it like it's a 5 to a 9. I mean
Yeah.
the whole show was a 9.
Yeah.
And then see episode 15 to whatever, the last was literally like a 3. And then I would rate the movies about a 5 or 6. The action was 10, the story was 1. So I'm balancing it.
Right, that's in the middle.
For me the story was like not bad, awful. Like
At the point we were watching, we didn't really care
I
what
don't
was gonna
care.
happen, but we were watching for the
the action was amazing that I couldn't turn it off. I was just, this
Yeah.
is great. But then, because of how much we've watched, watched. It's not like I could just skip 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna skip it. I wasn't gonna be like, even though I was like, man, this is slow and this is like, I don't care about any of this. I wasn't gonna skip it. I can't believe none of you guys said that the ending was controversial throughout any of our episodes.
Well, we were told during the live stream by some people.
But I didn't.
that was it.
But nobody prepared me for this.
Yeah.
I was like, I love Attack on Titan. Nobody, not one comment told me the end of season 4 and the movies are controversial. I didn't say bad. I said controversial.
Right. Like
I'm saying bad. I'm saying they're bad.
Yeah.
I think they're bad. And I'm not asking you guys to call them bad. I'm saying nobody gave us any heads up. And if I lowered my expectations, I probably wouldn't have been as upset.
Right. Yeah.
But I had high expectations. I thought it was going to fucking finish on a boom. I thought it was going to be 10. I thought the whole show was a 9 and then ending was going to be a 10. The ending was so bad that it stains the show. I'm like, this show was amazing. And then it got so bad. I'm like, how could I rewatch this? It's so bad. It's so bad. Not okay, not bad, trash. Actually, trash is the word. Really bad. Bin it. They should remake it. They should remake that ending. It's that bad.
Yeah, but they'd have to remake so much.
This
of the
is
show.
strengthened my position. I've watched a video on why it's good, and I've become more of a hater. Because I didn't even think about that. The little details. Wait, that's why you guys like it? This is fucking awful. I'm like, I've got way stronger.
Well, it's because we're watching
How
it
could
while
Aaron
it's
sit
good,
back
and we
let
don't
this cycle
see any of these
continue
points
when
as
he
like,
alone
oh,
is the
okay.
one
I
Even
can
the
see
points he's
that.
bringing up, I'm like, that's bad. I'm like,
Though,
you're just bringing up
Aaron
shit
is
that I
just a
think is
normal
bad
person
now.
at the end of it all, and for that reason, he also regrets what he had become. In an ideal world, he would never have this role to play the king like, say, King Fritz did. The real Aaron inside of him, the one we never really got to see until, well, the final scene, shows that his true desire was to live free and really normally with Mikasa and Armin, and that's it. So because of this, if there is a hell, he
Did
knows
he
he's
actually,
going there,
though? I
and
don't
so
know.
does Armin. Armin was the
I
very
don't think because his
catalyst
whole
which
goal
gave
since he
Aaron
was a
his
kid
dream
was to get rid of
explore the world.
Titans.
Bro, we could argue this all day. None
Like
of it.
in season 1 and 2, unless like I guess like since his memories got fucked up.
The Attack
But
Titan.
his whole thing was I want to destroy every single Titan.
They're saying the Attack Titan
Fucked his brain. You're right.
changed it, changed the past, changed everything. And then it gets into this confusing thing where, was Aaron when he was small, was he really Aaron, or was it when he's touched Historia, or like then you start saying,
Yeah.
like then you start saying, okay, well then when did he plan this? And it's
Yeah.
like, who cares? This is so bad.
World and uncover the vast seas of fire and the verdurous waters of the sea. Armin feels just as guilty, and instead of fighting that feeling of what he's all done, he instead embraces who he is and what he's done. From the guilt he felt after his first kill to the countless lives he took in Liberia, Armin can't forgive himself or justify what he's done as anything good, so he just accepts it. He's just as bad as Aaron or anyone else that has taken a life, and for that reason, the two embrace and share a moment where finally, after so many years, they can just be themselves and let go of the pain they've all been through. It's a moment of catharsis for the two, and it's one they deserve, as they both acknowledge they can never be innocent, but also realize they are somewhat victims as well. Though I think some of the most important material in this episode is the end credit sequence. Over the years, as Aaron
Oh
has
my
now passed,
God.
Mikasa
He
moves
saw him
on
on a
and starts
fucking
a
end
family.
credit on why the ending is good. I'm just so wallahi, I'm finished, bro. What the fuck is going on? The end credit scene where he shows the cycle of life is why the show is good, guys.
Family of her own, as finally Paradis is able
Unless
to
if you like this ending,
industrialize
this
and move
this
to the
video is gonna be
future.
unwatchable.
While we don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
for sure, it
They
seems
probably
that
clicked
there
off
is
by
a
now, right?
possibility that she
Shout
and
out to my
John
haters.
married each other
Hell
and have
yeah.
started
Shout
a
out to the
family of
haters,
their
bro.
own. This is sweet, as John has always had feelings for Mikasa since season 1, but as well, it's nice to know that
Wait.
Mikasa was able to move on and
Damn.
not be hung up
Oh
on
shit, I
Aaron.
didn't see that.
Yeah.
Damn.
While we don't know for sure, it seems that there is a possibility that she and John married each other and have started a family of their own. This is sweet,
Damn.
as John has always had feelings for Mikasa since season 1, but as well, it's nice to know that Mikasa was able to move on and not be hung up on Aaron, but still remain attached to him and always remember him. Going to his grave when she could, with her family wearing that scarf she would eventually take to her grave, even in her final moments of life as an older woman, barely able to reach out her hand to put a flower on her grave, assisted by John. She still remembers him and cares deeply for him. As she eventually passes on and time passes, we see that Aaron was able to actually stave off war, not just for a measly 50 or so years, but due to his actions, we see Paradis evolve into a futuristic society some 10 to 20,000 years into the future. Aaron was successful. He brought peace to the world for so very long, to the point that humanity evolved into something not even reminiscent of centuries past. But even still, War takes hold. People often forget what came before, and so the world once again destroys itself. Humanity is brought to the brink, and Paradis, finally after 20
Then make it a
years,
short story, man.
falls
Just make
to
it a short
war
story.
and fear, like they always do.
This is like
From
something
the
I would
dirt,
read in
humanity
Mr.
rose
Allen's
to
class. I would
prominence.
like be sitting there and be like,
Own
it's the
imperfect
cycle of
utopia,
life.
and
War
eventually-
always comes.
Like when you
They
have to fill
return
out
to
the
mud
5-minute
as
presentation,
they
you're just
destroyed
like,
it all
at
over
this
again.
point, you're just like,
Just as
winging
they
it,
did
like,
Yeah.
before, and
Like,
just
this
as
is
they'll
the cycle
always
of
do.
life, guys.
But if there is
War.
one thing Aaron can say he did, is that he brought peace to Paradis for tens of thousands of years. He succeeded in stopping war and the cycle of hatred to continue for so long. His plan worked. But even then, after the fall of humanity, a child with a scarf and her dog make their way to the one thing still left standing after all of these countless years. Aaron's burial place. That tree on the hill. Untouched by war,
But that's Aaron's burial
unravaged,
place.
and kept pure. This tree has been allowed to grow tall into the sky. The gravestone may be buried somewhere underground, but there within the tree is something. What it is, nobody knows. But what this all symbolizes is that, boiled down to a pure essence, humanity's existence is predicated entirely on the functions of cycles. Love, war, death, greed, famine, hatred, apathy, everything. It's what humans are as people, and that no matter what anyone does, no matter how long peace lasts, eventually humanity will do it all over again, repeating the same mistakes and
Yeah, but
choices,
they didn't convey
all
that
in
well.
the name of something
They just
This
showed
is
it in
an
the
end
fucking
credit.
end credit scene.
unstoppable.
And that's
The
why the
human
show was
condition.
good.
Attack on Titan is a
Coke.
story that will never be told again, that nobody will ever be able to capture. It came about at the right time,
I'm
the
so
right
stupid,
place,
I
and
guess.
Isayama, through
Guys,
every
it's
single
my
moment,
fault.
wrote a highly complex.
Because this guy got
and
400k views
Now, if
on
you-
a video, and I don't relate to anything he said. Do you?
Nah, not really.
Literally not one thing he
I mean,
said.
I agreed with
The Zeke and Armin.
the Zeke and Armin.
But that was something I don't know if anybody disputes.
Yeah, I don't think you can dispute that part.
It was cool.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was godly, but it was cool.
No, it makes sense. And the back and
If you
forth
were
was
to
good.
talk to Isayama, he will tell you he sought to create a simple story. But in execution, it's simply not true. He created a story that brilliantly showed in just 89 episodes what humans are, what they can become and fall prey to, and what they can be. It's a warning to future generations. Attack on Titan's ending is a
Oh my
masterpiece
God.
because there is literally no other anime that told a story so unique, so original, so vast and enlightening that I think, without a shadow of a doubt, this series is an instant classic and will be heralded as one of, if not the greatest stories ever told in the medium of anime. There will never be another like it. And I can say that I lived to see it in a time where the future seems so uncertain and dark, just like in the series. Attack on Titan gave me hope that there is a future beyond that will bring us to something better.
Okay, bro, you're too
To
involved.
fight
Like
fear
you need to
and
actually
not
go
run
touch
from it.
grass. But yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. That was okay. I didn't get convinced.
Yeah.
I didn't get
I don't
convinced.
know. I don't think we're convinced.
I didn't get convinced.
The other
But
guy had a shorter video. I'm convinced.
maybe we'll watch another one, and we'll see if that guy can convince us.
You guys gotta keep telling us which one we gotta see.
Subscribe, guys.